Good afternoon. I, Puneet Gupta, lecturer in computer engineering at GPCG Patiala. I am here to give the lecture on structure and union, that is a part of programming in C. Structure and union are the user defined data types which are defined by the user according to their needs. If a user want to define its own type of data type, then it's use the structure or union data type. In the structure and union data type, it gives its own values according to their own needs. For example, if a employer wants to give the value according to their needs, then it has address in it, it has an employee ID in that, it has its name, its age, salary. There are more than one factor that are considered in the case of the employer. The employer group these all kind of the data types under a same name, that is called structure and union. The any one of them is used by the user, either they can use the structure or the union. In the case of the employer, the name, address and the department name, these are the values, these are the data type which consist of the array of the characters. But the salary, age, these are the factor which are depending on the data type, that is known as the integer. So they group together according to their needs in under a same name, that is called a structure. Before I start with the structure or union, I just want to brief introduction about the data type in which it considers. So let us start with the data types. The C programming language, which has the ability to divide the data into the different types. If a C programming language want to divide the data according to their types, that is known as the data types. The types of the variable determine the what kind of value it may take on. The value, which type of value you want to take in, this is determined by the by using the data type. The various data types are simple data type, structured data type and user defined data type. Here the simple data types are integer, real, void and the characters. These are the data type which are predefined given by the C programming language. These are the data type which hold the different kind of data for us. And the structured data type, this is a group of collection of simple data type. If we combine the group of integers, we combine the group of real, or we combine the group of characters at a one place, that is known as the array or a strings. This is known as a structured data type. The third one is a user defined data type. The user defined data type, which a user defined to the computer, user defined to the C programming language according to their need. If I want a data type which consists of integer, character, real, array, all that mixture is given by me, and this data type is defined by me according to my need. The three types of user defined data types are enum, structure and the union. Here in my lecture I just give you the brief introduction about the structure and the union. So start with the structure. What is a structure? Is a structure is a user defined data type that groups logical related data types of different data types into a single unit. The data type which are logically relate to each other, the data type which are considered into a single unit, these are known as a structure. The user collect it, group it according to their need, that is known as a structure. All the elements of the structures are stored at the contiguous memory location, one after the another. When we want to store the data into the structure, then they are stored one after the another. All the elements in the structure are stored one after the another. There is no other way the data structure is stored in the memory. The variable of structure type can store multiple data items of different data types under the one name. Under a one name, we can store the different values for different data items. As a data of the employee in the company, if I have a employee in a company and I want to store the data of the that employee, that is its name, employee ID, salary, address, phone number, that all can stored under a structured data type, the data type created by a user, that consists of all these things: name, employee ID, salary, address, phone number, anything else the user can add in this data type. Now how can we define a structure? A structure has to define before it is used. If I want to use a structure in our system, then I have to define it first. So to define a structure, there is a particular syntax in a C language, that is, so first of all we give a struct. Struct is a keyword for the structure. If I want to define a structure, then first of all I have to given there a struct. Struct is struct. It's determine that it is a structure, it's a type of a structure. So after that there is a structure name. The name you can given it to it any name you want to give. The rules and the values of the games are according to the variable name. The various rules followed by a variable name for the variable name can be determined here. All that rules that are to violate in the variable name, that all violated here. For the structure, after we have give the name, there is a bracket, the curly bracket braces. After that data type, the data type which the variable of that data type have to given, then the variable name, number of the data types and the variable names are given there. After that this is ended by a semicolon, then the braces are enclosed and it's also terminated by using a semicolon. Now the example of a structure, how a structure which we can define first, how we can declare it, how can we define it by using this example. I can show you. First there is a struct, that keyword I show you earlier, that keyword have to write here. Then the name of the structure, I write here the employee. Any name you want to give, you can give it here. You can also give emp, you can also give emp1 or anything you want to give. Then there is a braces, starting of the brace. Then integer is a data type for the employee id. The employee id is of the integer data type, so I give here an integer employee id, then semicolon. After that I have given a name. For a name of the employee, I give the character name 20. This is the array of characters, that is a string. I give that string of 20 characters for the name. Then there is a float, salary. Salary is in the floating point, it has points in it, so decimal number in it, so salary is given under the name of float. Then there is a character, address 50. Again I have to store the address of the employee, then I give it under the name of address, and it's an array of 50 characters. And next one is the department number. The department number is again also of the integer data type. And next one is the integer age. The age is also the factor age is also given by the in the type of integer. Then it's braces and the semicolon, the close by the semicolon is terminated by the help of semicolon. Now the memory space allocated by that previous example I have used. The memory space that are used by it is first of all it start from the 8000. I assume the memory spaces start from the 8000. The first two location are held by the employee id. The 2 bytes are held by the employee id, as the employee id is of integer data type. After that there is an array of 20 characters, that is 2 to 22. Then the total 20 digits, the total 20 characters are stored here, so its space is 2 to 22. After that there is a salary. Salary is of float data type, so it holds the 4 bytes in the memory, it goes up to the 26. And after there is a 50 character space for the addresses, and it's a string of 50 characters, so it's go up to the 76, 8076, 8076, it go up to the 76. After that there is a department number. Department number hold the 2 bytes, as it's of the integer data type, so it's go up to the 8078. After there is a age is again is of the integer type, so it goes up to the 8080. It also hold the 2 bytes. This is a total memory allocation for the example I used earlier, that is this one. For this structure I have to hold this much of the space in my memory. This is total 80 bytes in the memory. If I have 80 bytes, contiguous 80 bytes, then I store this structure in the memory. Now the declaring the structure variable. Now I have defined a structure. The structure contains the various elements, various member in it. Now how can I use that structure? By using the, I can use it by declaring a variable for it. A structure has to declare after the body of the structure has defined. When I define a body, then the structure has to declare. The syntax for declaring a structure is struct, again a keyword, structure name, the name you are given for that, and the variable name, any name you want to give it, and there is a semicolon. The same way we can assess the structure as we earlier assess any of the data type, any of the data type variable. The example to declare a variable for defined structure employee, Then there is a struct employee. Employee is the name of the structure, and E1 is a variable name given by me. Any name you can give it. Now E1 contain the 6 member. All that 6 member that are defined in the employee structure. That 6 members are employee ID, name, salary, address, department number, and age. These all 6 members are assigned to the E1 data type. That all 6 are considered in that E1. Now, how to initialize a structure member? Now, I have defined a structure member. How to give the values to that structure members? The members of individual structure variable is initialized by one or in a single statement. We can initialize individually or in a single statement together. The example to initialize a structure variable is struct employee. Employee is the name of the structure. Then E1 is a variable name that are given earlier by us, and then there is a equal to sign. After that, I have given all the values one by one after the another in the sequence. I have defined in the structure. First there is an employee ID. So the first one is stored in the employee ID. Then Hemant is the name of the employee. Then there is a salary, 12,000. After there is a address. That address is 3 Vikas Colony, New Delhi. Then there is a 10. That 10 goes to the department number, and last one is the age. So age is 35. Now, by this example, by this way, I can store each and every value to the employee structure. In a single statement, I assign the values to the E1. If I assign the value in a different sequence, then it's not possible in the case of a single structure. If I want to define the value in a different sequence, then I have to define it one by one. That is shown in the second example. There is E1 dot employee ID. Here dot is a period that as an operator which you use to assess the structure members. I have to use the structure name, then the member name that are defined in the structure. After that there is a equal to sign, equal to operator, and then there is a value and semicolon. And here in this I have defined E1 dot employee ID equal to 1. After that there is a semicolon. After that there is E1 dot name equal to Hemant, and E1 salary equal to 12,000, and so on. All the values are assigned to it by using this by using this structure members. Now assess the structure members, the various values which are stored in the structure, or the various value we want to store in the structure by using the scanf or the printf statement. We need to assess that structure member. To assess that, we cannot directly assess the structure member as an expression. If I want to assess a structure member, we can't assess it directly. They can access by using a name of the structure followed by a dot, the name of the structure which in it present, and then it is followed by a dot, and then the name of the member variable, the variable, the member which are defined here. That after that they have to mention. For example, if I want to assess the employee ID, then that our variable name is employee 1, then I have to define the E1 dot employee ID. By this method I can assess the employee ID under the E1. And if I want to assess the name of the name member of the structure, then I have to give the E1 dot name, and so on. Each and every member I have to assess. We have to mention with the structure name first, then the dot, that is called a period variable, and after that we have to give the variable name. The data with the structure is stored by using or stored or print by using the various C statement, that are scanf or the printf. If I want to store or print any of the variable, then I use this scanf or the printf statement in the C program language. Now the structure assignment. The value of one structure variable is assigned to the another variable of the same data type. If I want to assign the value of one variable, one structure to the another, then I use this structure assignment. If there are two structures that are E1 and E2, and I want to store the value of E2 into the E1, then the statement is E1 is equal to E2. But the only condition for that is E2 and E1 are the same variable, variable of the same structure. If they are the variable of the different structure, then it is not possible to assign the values to both of them. Assign the value of to the structure variable 2 by using this statement. We can assign the value to E1, the values of the E2 to the E1. Now the whole program to implement the structure. For this, I have to start with the hash include studio.h, hash include conio.h. This is the header files which I have to given. For beside these, we don't have any other data type to define for the structure. Next one, to define a structure here. A structure I have defined, the name has an employee, so I have defined it with the struct employee. Then the bracket start, integer employee ID, character name 20, float salary, character address 50, integer department number, integer age. Then there is a braces. After that there is a semicolon, that are enclosed with the semicolon. Here I defined only the structure. The header files and the structure is defined by me. This structure has a name employee and it has a 6 variable in it, that is employee ID, name, salary, address, department number and the age. Now how to use this structure which I have defined earlier in this program. This is used in the void main. The void main, after that there is a bracket, braces, struct employee E1 E2. This is here I am assessing, I am giving the variable, I am giving the variable to the struct employer. Employee is the name of the structure and E1 and E2 are the two variables that are defined by me. There are number of variable you can given for it. There is no limit of the variable you can give it to it. Only the condition for it, only the memory space in your system. After that I can print the statement on the screen. This is enter the employee ID of the employee, and the statement scanf statement for it. Person D, here I use this person D according to the employee ID. Employee ID is of the integer type, so I use here a person D. Person D, after that imprecent E1, and then there is a employee ID. I give the employee ID here, and you have to assign the value here. After there is a enter the employee, enter the name of the employee. Then there is a %s for the string E1 dot name. So I assign the string name for that. After there is a enter the salary of the employee, I can enter the salary. After that there is the address of the employee, I can assign the address of the employee. Then department of the employee, same as a previous one, I can use imprecent E1 dot department number. After that there is a age of the employee. If I want to assign the age of the employee, then I use person D imprecent E1 dot age. Now all the 6 variable I can assign all the 6 values for the 6 variable of E1. The E1 variable store the value for the different places. Now the second variable E2. E2 hold the different values than the E1. So I given the second list, that is enter the employee ID for the employee, and person D again for the employee ID, and there is imprecent E2. Only I change the E1 to E2, and the new kind of variable is formed. Now the E2 dot employee ID are different from E1 dot employee ID. Again I can assign the name to that, salary, address, department number, age, same as previous one. Only the thing change here is I change E1 to E2. Now all the 6 variable that are I hold the values in it, the value I have to print by using the printf statement. So I use the statement, the employee ID of the employee is person D, then E1 dot imp underscore ID. Then the name of the employee is person S, E1 dot name. Then the salary of the employee is person F, E1 dot salary, and so on. Up to the age I can assign the values to the different structures. The values have to be printed. This is the value printed for the E1, and next one the value printed for the E2. After that there is a getch statement. The getch statement to hold the value that are present on the screen, that all the values are present by using this. After that there is a end of the program by using the bracket braces there. By using this whole program, I define 2 variables of the structure E1 and E2, then assign the value into the E1 and the E2. After that I display the value to E1 and the E2 variables. one by one. Now the output of this program is, first of all, the values for the various E1 or E2 are entered by the user. So first is enter the employee ID of the employer, that is the first I enter it. After that, enter the name of the employer Rahul and enter the salary 15,000 and so on. The second value, the second variable is enter the employee ID for the employer second. There I enter the second and the name of the employee is Rajiv and so on. There are total different variable, totally different variable for that. Now the output for the printf statement for this is the employee ID is employee is 1, the name of the employee is Rahul, the salary of the employer is 50,000 and all that value. After that the second position, the second variable hold the different values. The employer ID of the employee is second and the name of the employee is Rajiv and so on. The age of the employee is 30. These are the two sets of the set of the structures which are set of the variables which are defined by the user. Now the array of the structure, the various structure consists of the array. We can also create an array of the structure. The C language allow to create an array of the variables of the structure. If I want to create the array of the structure, then a C language allow us to create that. The array of structure is used to store the large number of similar record. If I want to store a same record under a large number of similar record under the same name, then I use the array structure. For example, if I want to store the 100 employees, the record of the 100 employees, then the array of structure is used. There is no we have to define, otherwise we have to define the 100 different variables. But if I want to store under a same name, then I use a array. The method to define and assess the array element is similar as the other array we can define or use. The syntax for define the array of the structure is struct. Struct is a keyword for the array. Then there is a structure name. If I want to give the name of the structure, then there is a variable name, any variable name you want to give. Then the value for that variable name, I want to give that value for the variable name, then the semicolon. Now the program to implement the array of the structure. The example here to define the array, here is a structure employee E1 100. Here struct is a keyword, employee is the name of the structure, E1 is a array name or a variable name, that 100 is a value, index value for the array. The total number of employees are 100, so I give here 100. You can give any of the range you want to give, then it's ended with the semicolon. Now program to implement the array of the structure. The same, I can define the structure. Similarly, in the previous program, I defined it. Firstly, I give the header file, that is hash include studio.h, then the hash include conio.h. After that, there is a struct employee. This is a structure for the employee. It contains employee ID, name, salary, address, department number, age, all that similar to the previous one. After that, I assign this program, I implement this array of the structure. For this, I just assign struct employee E1 5. Here 5 is a limit of the array. I want to change it, it can change to any number of, I assign here 5 employee, but you can assign up to the 120, any one range you want to assign. Then there is an integer I for the for loop. After that, I start the loop, I is equal to 1, I less than equal to 100, then I plus plus, I given the various value for that. Now I scan and print the various values of the employee. Here I enter the employee ID of employee, then person D, ampersand EI, then employee ID. Here employee ID is of the integer type, so I use person D. Name is of the string type, so I use person dance and so on. Salary is of the float type, so I use person F. All that 6 values are scanned by us. Then all that values which are stored by the different E element that are given by the that are used by this print by this structure by using the for loop. For I is equal to 1, then I less than equal to 100, then I plus plus, that all values are print by using this statement. The printf statement, the employee ID of employee is person D. Here person D again for the integer, E1 dot employee ID. So E1 define here is which number of which element has to print, either it's E1 or E2, E3 according to the number of I I can assign the different values for that. I can print the different values for that. Now all the 6 variable has to print. So all that 6 variables are given by this function. So here I want to show you that there are different there are same name but the different values are assigned to them by using the array. If I want to give the different values for that, then we use the array structure in that. Now the structure within the structure, if I there is a possibility to define a structure within a structure. Firstly I define the first structure, then I can also define a structure in it. The C language define a variable of structure type as a member of a other structure type. This is the syntax to define the structure within a structure is structure name, the name of the structure, then data type variable name. After that the structure you want to give, then there then their structure name, data type variable name, then the structure variable for the second structure, then data type variable name again semicolon, then it's enclosed by the end of the bracket and the semicolon. Now the example of structure within a structure, if I want to declare a structure within a structure, so that the structure of the employee, here I declare a structure of an employee, and that structure I declare a date structure in that. The date, it consists of 3 different variables, the day, month and year. I want to define the date structure in between the employee. The syntax example for that is, firstly I declare the structure employee. It consists of the different members that are employee ID by using the integer data type. Character data type consists of name and float for the salary, integer for the department number. Now the date, it consists of the structure data type. It contains 3 different members in that, that is integer day, integer month and integer year. After that there is a variable for the date data type, date integer, that is dog, and after that there is a braces are enclosed by the semicolon. Now the method to use that, the method to assess that structure within a structure. The data member of structure within a structure is assessed by using a 2 period symbol. Firstly I use a single period symbol. Now I have to use a 2 different period signal to assess the structure within a structure. To assess that I have to use structure variable. First of all I use a structure variable, then nested structure variable. After that the structure member I want to use. Here I use the E1. E1 is a member of the main variable of the main structure, then it's the period symbol you use. After that I use the second structure, that is doj, and after that and at the last I use a member, variable member for that, that is day, month and year. According to that I use the different members of the second, the nested structure in it by using the 2 different period variables. Now the pointers and the structure. C language can define the pointer variable of the structure data type. If I have a structure data type with me, then I have a value, I have a method to define a pointer variable of that. The pointer variable of the structure variable is declared by using the same syntax to define a pointer variable of a data type. Any data type want to declare, the same method is used by the structure. The syntax to define the pointer to the structure is, first of all I use the struct as a keyword, then there is a structure name, the name of the structure for which you want a pointer variable. After that the pointer variable name, that variable name given by given to the structure variable name. Then the example for that is struct employee. Employee is a structure that are defined by us previously, and imp is a name of the for the pointer variable name I given, and star symbol shows here it's a type of a pointer variable. So I declare a imp as a pointer variable of a employee data type. Now to assess that pointers in the structure, if I want to assess that pointers in the structure, I want to assess that pointer in the structure. So the member of the structure variable is assessed by using a pointer variable with the arrow operator. I use that pointer variable with the arrow operator instead of period operator. Without using the dot, I use the arrow operator there to assess the pointers in the structure. The syntax to assess the pointers to the structure are pointer variable name, then the symbol, the arrow operator is there. After that there is a structure member. For example, employee name. Now employee is a structure pointer variable given to the structure. Then name is a member of the structure, so I assess the name by using that point arrow variable there. Here name is a structure member assessed through the pointer employee variable employee. Now passing the structure to the function, if I want to pass the structure to the function, then this method is used. The structure variable can be passed to the function as a parameter. The program is passed to the structure variable to the function. A whole the program can pass to the function. The syntax for that is, here I use the header files first, that is hash include study dot